Have you ever wondered, as you take yesterday's dinner out of the fridge and microwave it, if you're making a quick and healthy choice? What if I told you that some of these seemingly harmless actions could be dealing a hidden blow to your body, increasing your risk of cancer, digestive issues, and even brain damage? In this article, we'll explore 5 common foods that doctors and nutritionists strongly advise against reheating, as they can turn into veritable toxic time bombs. We're talking about everyday foods that you probably consider healthy, but scientific studies show that reheating them can lead to the formation of harmful compounds linked to serious long-term health risks. Read on to the end to learn not only which foods to avoid, but also the surprising reasons behind it, backed by real medical research, so you can make smarter choices in the kitchen, protecting your health and feeling better every day. Number 1 on our list is spinach, which releases harmful nitrates when reheated. Spinach is a true nutritional powerhouse, valued for its versatility and numerous health benefits. Whether you add it to smoothies, stir-fry in a wok, put in lasagna, or use it as a base for salads, this leafy green vegetable is an integral part of kitchens around the world. Rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as iron and antioxidants, spinach is often the first choice for those looking to improve their health and boost their vitality. However, a common culinary habit, reheating spinach, especially after it has been stored, can turn this superfood into a potential threat to your health. At the heart of this problem lies spinach's naturally high nitrate content. Nitrates in their natural form are not only harmless, but beneficial, supporting healthy blood flow, lowering blood pressure, and even improving exercise performance. However, as studies published in reputable journals, such as the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show, the chemical composition of nitrates undergoes changes under certain conditions. When spinach is cooked, stored, especially at room temperature or in the refrigerator for extended periods, and then reheated, especially in a microwave or at high temperatures, a chemical transformation occurs. Nitrates break down into nitrites, and these nitrites, in turn, can be converted into nitrosamines, compounds that have been extensively studied for their carcinogenic properties. Nitrosamines are not just a scare story. Research conducted by the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute has linked these compounds to an increased risk of cancer, particularly those affecting the gastrointestinal tract, such as stomach and colon cancer. In addition, new research suggests that nitrosamines may contribute to neurological damage, potentially exacerbating conditions such as cognitive decline or even playing a role in neurodegenerative diseases over time. Imagine exposing your brain to a hidden toxin with every reheating of spinach. The transformation of nitrates into nitrosamines occurs subtly and invisibly to the naked eye, making it an insidious risk for those unaware of it. This problem is particularly relevant for older adults, whose bodies are more susceptible to the effects of environmental and food toxins. As we age, our cell repair mechanisms slow down, and our systems become less efficient at detoxifying harmful compounds. What might have been a minor issue in our 20s or 30s can have a more pronounced impact in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, especially on sensitive systems such as the brain and nervous system. For example, chronic exposure to low levels of nitrosamines has been linked to inflammation, a known factor contributing to cognitive decline and conditions such as Alzheimer's disease, as noted in studies published in Neurology. Consider a common scenario. You prepare a large batch of vegetable soup with spinach on Sunday, intending to enjoy it throughout the week. On Tuesday, you microwave a portion for a quick lunch. Although the soup tastes normal, the reheated spinach may now contain nitrosamines formed during storage and reheating. Over weeks, months, or even years of repeating this habit, these compounds can accumulate in your system, potentially contributing to long-term health risks that manifest subtly. You may not feel an immediate effect, but over time, it can take a toll on your health. The solution is not to avoid spinach altogether. When fresh, it remains one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. Instead, adopt smarter cooking habits. Whenever possible, consume spinach fresh or lightly cooked. If you have cooked a dish with spinach, try eating the leftovers cold. Consider a spinach salad or cold soup to avoid reheating. If reheating is unavoidable, do so carefully, using low heat on the stovetop rather than the microwave, and avoid reheating multiple times. In addition, immediately store dishes containing spinach in the refrigerator and consume them within 1 to 2 days to minimize nitrate breakdown. Knowledge is power. Understanding how everyday kitchen practices can affect your health empowers you to make informed choices. By making small adjustments, such as prioritizing fresh or cold spinach, you can protect your body and brain from hidden risks, ensuring that this nutrient-rich vegetable remains an ally in health, not a hidden threat. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. Number 2 on our list is reheated potatoes, which can subtly disrupt your health. Potatoes are a beloved food, valued in various cultures for their affordability, versatility, and pleasing texture. Whether mashed with butter, roasted with herbs, baked with a crispy skin, or stewed in a hearty stew, potatoes are a cornerstone of countless dishes. However, a little-known risk arises when potatoes are cooked, cooled, stored, and then reheated, a common practice in many households. This process can cause changes in the composition of potatoes that may pose a health hazard, especially when handled improperly. When potatoes are first cooked, their starches break down into a soft, easily digestible form that our bodies readily process. However, when cooked potatoes cool, especially if left at room temperature or in the refrigerator for too long, these starches undergo a process called retrogradation, turning into resistant starch. Resistant starch in moderate amounts can be beneficial, acting as a prebiotic that supports gut health and helps regulate blood sugar levels, according to studies in the journal Nutrition. But the problem begins when these chilled potatoes are reheated, especially using high-temperature heating methods, such as microwaving or uneven reheating methods. The main concern with reheated potatoes lies in their ability to harbor harmful bacteria, such as Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria responsible for botulism. This risk increases when potatoes are cooked, wrapped in foil, which creates a low-oxygen environment, and allowed to cool slowly at room temperature before storage. These conditions create an ideal environment for C. botulinum to multiply, which thrives in low-oxygen, starch-rich environments. Even if the potatoes don't smell or look spoiled, the bacteria can produce neurotoxins that are odorless, tasteless, and invisible, but capable of causing serious illness, including symptoms such as nausea, dizziness, and, in rare cases, neurological complications. Imagine eating potatoes that look perfectly normal but contain a hidden poison. For older adults, this risk is particularly important. Aging brings a natural decline in immune function and digestive efficiency, making the body less able to fight off bacterial toxins. Moreover, the gut-brain axis, a growing area of medical research, highlights how gut health directly affects cognitive function. Chronic inflammation caused by harmful bacteria or toxins in the gut has been linked to an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as noted in studies published in Frontiers in Neuroscience. Thus, the seemingly harmless act of reheating yesterday's mashed potatoes can contribute to systemic inflammation over time, affecting both physical and mental health. Imagine you baked a sheet of potatoes for dinner, wrapped the leftovers in foil, and stored them in the refrigerator. A couple of days later, you reheat them in the microwave for a quick side dish. While convenient, this practice may introduce low levels of bacterial toxins into your system, which can accumulate with repeated exposure. The risk is even higher if the potatoes were allowed to cool slowly before chilling, as this increases the window for bacterial growth. You may not feel an immediate effect, but over time, it can take a toll on your health. To safely enjoy potatoes, follow a few simple rules. First, cook only what you will eat fresh whenever possible. If you need to store leftovers, cool them quickly and store them in airtight containers, not foil, in the refrigerator to slow bacterial growth. When reheating, use the stovetop or oven to ensure even heating and avoid reheating potatoes more than once. If leftovers have been in the refrigerator for more than a couple of days, or show any signs of spoilage, err on the side of caution and discard them. Better safe than sorry. Potatoes remain a nutritious and delicious food when prepared and handled properly. By being mindful of how you store and reheat them, you can minimize the risks and maximize their benefits. For older adults who are often focused on preserving energy, memory, and overall vitality, these small adjustments can make a significant difference in long-term health. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. Number 3 on our list is reheated eggs, which can release harmful compounds. Eggs are a cornerstone of American cuisine, valued for their affordability, versatility, and nutritional value. Whether scrambled for breakfast, hard-boiled for a snack, or added to quiches and casseroles, eggs are a staple source of protein, rich in essential nutrients such as choline, which supports brain health, and high-quality protein for muscle maintenance. However, a common habit, reheating cooked eggs, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, can turn this healthy food into one that may pose minor but significant health risks. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins undergo a process called denaturation, where they unfold and rearrange into a digestible form. This is a natural and beneficial part of cooking. However, reheating already cooked eggs, especially using uneven or intense heat, causes further chemical changes that can compromise their safety and nutritional value. 2 key concerns arise: the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the oxidation of cholesterol. Sulfur compounds naturally present in eggs can break down during reheating, producing a characteristic rubbery texture and an unpleasant sulfurous odor. However, more concerning is the oxidation of cholesterol in the egg yolk. When reheated, especially at high temperatures, cholesterol can oxidize into compounds called oxysterols, which have been linked to increased inflammation and a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. According to research in the journal Lipid Research, chronic inflammation, in turn, is a known factor contributing to cognitive decline, memory impairment, and neurodegenerative conditions such as dementia. As highlighted in studies from Nature Reviews Neurology, older adults are particularly vulnerable to these effects. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing fats, our arteries become less flexible, and our brains become more sensitive to inflammation. This means that dietary habits that seem minor, such as reheating scrambled eggs for a quick breakfast, can have disproportionate consequences over time. For example, imagine you boil a batch of eggs on Sunday to eat them throughout the week. On Wednesday, you reheat one in a microwave to warm it up. While this may seem like a healthy, protein-rich choice, the egg whites have become more rigid, and the cholesterol may have oxidized, introducing inflammatory compounds into your system. Over months or years, this habit can contribute to systemic inflammation that subtly undermines your health. You may not feel an immediate effect, but over time, it can take a toll on your health. To minimize these risks, prioritize eating eggs fresh or shortly after cooking. If you cook eggs in batches for convenience, consider eating them cold, such as in salads, sandwiches, or as a snack, rather than reheating them. If reheating is necessary, use gentle, even heat, such as a stovetop on low heat, and avoid reheating multiple times. In addition, immediately store cooked eggs in the refrigerator and consume them within a few days to maintain their quality and safety. If an egg smells bad, looks discolored, or has been stored for too long, it's best to discard it. Better safe than sorry. Eggs remain a nutritional superstar when cooked thoughtfully. By making small changes to how you handle and consume them, you can continue to enjoy their benefits while minimizing potential risks. These seemingly minor decisions, how you store, reheat, or prefer to eat your eggs, can lead to significant health benefits over time, supporting your energy, cognitive function, and overall well-being. Your body deserves the best, and sometimes it starts with rethinking something as simple as your morning routine. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. Number 4 on our list is reheating chicken, which can cause hidden inflammation. Chicken is a staple in many households, valued for its versatility, affordability, and reputation as a healthy, lean protein. Whether grilled, baked, or roasted, it's a choice for fitness enthusiasts, busy families, and anyone looking to maintain a balanced diet. Many of us cook chicken in bulk, storing leftovers in the refrigerator for quick meals throughout the week. It's convenient, saves time, and seems like a practical choice. But here's a surprising fact you may not have considered. Reheating chicken, especially using methods such as microwaving or high-temperature ovens, can subtly alter its composition in ways that may contribute to inflammation, digestive issues, and even long-term health problems. When you first cook chicken, the heat transforms its protein structure in a way that makes it more digestible. The proteins denature, breaking down into forms that your stomach and intestines can efficiently process. However, when you reheat the same chicken, especially if the process is uneven, as is often the case in a microwave, or if the temperature is excessively high, these proteins undergo a second transformation. This additional heating can cause the proteins to become more rigid, tougher, and less bioavailable, meaning your body has to work harder to break them down. For young people with strong digestive systems, this may not be noticeable right away. But as we age, our digestive enzymes and stomach acid production naturally decline, making it more difficult to process foods that were once easy to process. The result? You may experience bloating, discomfort, or a vague sense of lethargy after eating reheated chicken, without linking it to the reheating process itself. You may not realize that your digestive system is working overtime to cope with these altered proteins. However, the impact goes beyond digestion, and this is where the stakes get higher. Research in the field of nutrition science has shown that reheating proteins, such as chicken, can lead to the formation of compounds that trigger low-grade systemic inflammation in the body. These compounds, such as advanced glycation end products, AGEs, are formed when proteins and fats are repeatedly exposed to high heat. AGEs are of particular concern because they are not just a minor inconvenience. They are linked to chronic inflammation, which is now recognized as a major cause of numerous health problems. Inflammation doesn't just manifest as joint pain or swelling. It is the quiet engine of serious conditions such as heart disease, insulin resistance, and even neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Over time, the cumulative effect of eating foods that promote inflammation, even in small amounts, can undermine your body's resilience, making you more vulnerable to these age-related diseases. Imagine gradually undermining your immune system with every bite of reheated chicken. Let's paint a picture to make this clearer. Imagine it's Sunday evening, and you've cooked a batch of grilled chicken breasts for the week. You store them in the refrigerator, and on Tuesday you reheat a portion in the microwave for a quick lunch. You notice that the chicken has a slightly rubbery texture, maybe a faint off flavor, but you dismiss it. It's still edible, right? What you may not realize is that this change in texture and flavor reflects deeper chemical changes in the food. The proteins have undergone a second round of heat-induced damage, resulting in a product that is not only less tasty, but also more difficult for your body to process. This puts a slight but real strain on your digestive system, which over time can translate into stress on your immune system and even your nervous system. This problem is particularly important for older adults who may already be struggling with inflammation-related problems, such as arthritis, high blood pressure, or cognitive fog. Chronic low-grade inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire in the body, draining energy, dulling mental clarity, and even affecting mood. For someone in their 50s, 60s, or older, these effects can make everyday life more tiring than it needs to be. You may feel tired and lethargic, not realizing that your habit of reheating chicken may be the cause. While giving up reheated chicken won't magically solve all health problems, it's a simple, actionable step to reduce unnecessary stress on your body. By making small changes like this, you give your system the opportunity to focus its energy on repair, recovery, and maintaining vitality. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. So what can you do to minimize these risks? First, consider how you reheat leftovers. If you need to reheat chicken, do so carefully. Using a low-temperature oven or stovetop can help preserve the protein structure better than a microwave. Even better, try adding leftover chicken to cold dishes such as salads or rolls, where reheating is not required. Another strategy is to cook smaller batches of chicken to eat it fresh, reducing the need for storage and reheating. These small adjustments may seem minor, but they add up over time, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to dietary stressors with age. The main takeaway is that how you prepare food is as important as the food choices you make. Chicken itself is a nutritious choice, but how you handle it after cooking can significantly affect how it affects your health. By being mindful of habits, such as reheating, you're not just feeding your body, you're showing it care and respect. As we age, these small acts of mindfulness become powerful tools for protecting our long-term well-being. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. Number 5 on our list is mushrooms, which lose their balance when reheated. Mushrooms are a nutritious food valued for their earthy flavor, pleasing texture, and impressive health benefits. They are rich in antioxidants, fiber, B vitamins, and immune-boosting compounds such as beta-glucans. It's a fantastic addition to everything from stir-fries and soups to omelets and side dishes. Whether you're frying cremini, grilling portobello, or stewing shiitake, mushrooms add a unique depth to dishes while offering health benefits for the heart, immunity, and even cancer prevention. But there is also a lesser-known downside to this culinary favorite. Mushrooms are very sensitive to reheating, and this sensitivity can affect not only their taste and texture, but also how your body reacts to them, potentially disrupting your internal chemistry in unexpected ways. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms have a unique composition that includes complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate fats. When you cook them fresh, these components break down in a controlled manner, releasing their flavors and making their nutrients more accessible to your body. However, when you reheat mushrooms, especially multiple times or using high-temperature heating methods, such as microwaving, their structure undergoes further degradation. Proteins and enzymes break down into less digestible forms, which can lead to digestive discomfort, bloating, or a feeling of heaviness and lethargy after eating. This is especially true for older adults, whose digestive systems may be less efficient due to age-related declines in enzyme production and intestinal motility. What might have been a minor inconvenience in your 20s or 30s can become a noticeable source of discomfort in your 50s and older. You may not realize that your digestive system is working overtime to cope with these alter mushrooms. The problems with reheated mushrooms go beyond digestion and touch on a deeper issue: oxidative stress. When mushrooms are stored improperly, such as left in a plastic container where moisture accumulates, or reheated unevenly, their proteins and fats can oxidize, forming compounds that contribute to cell damage. Oxidative stress is a key factor in aging and chronic diseases, causing inflammation and increasing the risk of conditions such as cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and even neurodegenerative disorders. Studies have shown that oxidized compounds in food can exacerbate this stress, putting an additional strain on your body's antioxidant defenses. For older adults or those dealing with chronic illnesses, this additional stress can manifest. Reheating mushrooms can lead to fatigue, brain fog, or a weakened immune response. Imagine exposing your body to hidden stress with every bite of reheated mushrooms. Consider a practical example. Suppose you've prepared a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with cremini and oyster mushrooms. It's a hearty, nutrient-rich dish, and you store the leftovers in the refrigerator. The next day, you microwave a portion, but notice the mushrooms have lost their tender, succulent quality. They're now chewy, slightly slimy, or have an unpleasant, muted flavor. These sensory changes are more than just a culinary disappointment. They indicate that the proteins and fats in the mushrooms have undergone chemical alterations. Once beneficial nutrients have transformed into compounds that your body struggles to process, potentially contributing to inflammation or oxidative stress with each bite. The texture of reheated mushrooms provides another clue. Freshly cooked mushrooms are plump, flavorful, and satisfying. After reheating, They often become rubbery, watery, or overly soft, indicating a loss of structural integrity. This degradation doesn't just affect enjoyment. It reduces nutritional value and increases the likelihood of digestive issues or systemic problems for older adults who may already struggle with bloating, gas, or irregular digestion. These subtle changes in food quality can exacerbate existing issues, making it difficult to pinpoint the root cause of discomfort. You might not realize that your digestive problems are linked to your habit of reheating mushrooms. To minimize these risks, handle mushrooms with extra care. If you have leftover cooked mushrooms, store them in an airtight glass container in the refrigerator to prevent moisture buildup, which can accelerate spoilage and oxidation. When reheating, choose gentle methods like a low-temperature stovetop or oven to preserve the original structure as much as possible. Even better, consider enjoying leftover mushrooms cold, adding them to a salad with olive oil, lemon, and fresh herbs. They can be just as delicious without the risks of reheating. If you're cooking mushrooms, try to prepare only what you'll eat in one sitting to avoid the need for storage altogether. The broader lesson here is that small dietary decisions can have a cumulative impact on your health. Avoiding reheated mushrooms may seem like a trivial adjustment, but it's one way to reduce the burden on your digestive and immune systems over time. These mindful choices can help you feel lighter, more energetic, and better equipped to handle the challenges of aging. By paying attention to how you prepare and store sensitive foods like mushrooms, you're investing in your long-term vitality, one meal at a time. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. In conclusion, it is worth emphasizing that a conscious attitude to cooking and storing food is not just a fashion trend, but an important aspect of taking care of your health, especially with age. By avoiding reheating certain foods, such as spinach, potatoes, eggs, chicken, and mushrooms, you can significantly reduce the risk of exposure to harmful compounds and support the optimal functioning of your body. Remember that every choice you make in the kitchen affects your overall well-being. By making informed decisions about how you cook, store, and reheat food, you can protect yourself from hidden risks and enjoy delicious and nutritious meals that support your health and vitality. In addition to the 5 foods discussed above, there are other foods that should be handled with care when reheating. For example, rice, especially if left at room temperature after cooking, may contain spores of Bacillus cereus, a bacterium that can cause food poisoning. Reheating rice does not kill these spores, and they can multiply and produce toxins that cause nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. To avoid this risk, cool rice quickly after cooking and store in the refrigerator for no more than 1 day. When reheating, make sure it is thoroughly heated. Seafood also requires special attention. Reheating seafood, such as fish and shrimp, can lead to the formation of harmful bacteria and changes in their taste and texture. It is best to eat seafood fresh or immediately after cooking. If you have leftovers, store them in the refrigerator and eat them within 1 day. When reheating, make sure they are thoroughly heated and do not reheat them more than once. Processed meats, such as hot dogs and sausages, can also pose a hazard when reheated. These products often contain nitrites and nitrates, which can turn it into transaminase when heated, as with spinach. To minimize this risk, avoid frequent consumption of processed meats and choose options without added nitrites and nitrates. When reheating, make sure they are thoroughly heated and do not reheat them more than once. Oils can also pose a hazard when reheated. Some oils, such as vegetable and sunflower, contain a large amount of polyunsaturated fats, which can oxidize when heated, forming harmful compounds. To avoid this risk, use oils high in saturated fats, such as coconut and olive, for cooking at high temperatures. When reheating, use a low temperature and do not reheat oils more than once. In addition, it is important to remember the materials you use to reheat food. Some plastic containers can release harmful chemicals when heated, especially in the microwave. To avoid this risk, use glass or ceramic containers to reheat food. In conclusion, a conscious attitude to cooking and storing food is an important aspect of taking care of your health. By avoiding reheating certain foods and making informed decisions about how you cook, store, and reheat food, you can protect yourself from hidden risks and enjoy delicious and nutritious meals that support your health and vitality. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. In addition to dietary considerations, it is also important to consider other factors that can affect your health as you age. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management are all important components of a healthy lifestyle. Exercise helps maintain muscle mass, improves cardiovascular health, and improves mood. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous activity each week. This may include activities such as walking, swimming, cycling, or dancing. Adequate sleep is essential for physical and mental health. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Create a regular sleep schedule and create a relaxing bedroom environment to improve sleep quality. Stress management is also important for overall well-being. Chronic stress can have a negative impact on your health, so it is important to find ways to manage stress. This may include activities such as yoga, meditation, spending time in nature, or socializing with friends and family. In conclusion, taking care of your health as you age requires a comprehensive approach that includes a conscious attitude to cooking and storing food, regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. By making informed decisions in all of these areas, you can protect yourself from hidden risks and enjoy a healthy and fulfilling life. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. In addition, it is important to visit your doctor regularly for checkups and screenings. This can help identify health problems early when they're easier to treat. Discuss your medical history, lifestyle, and any health concerns with your doctor to develop an individualized prevention and treatment plan. It is also important to stay socially active and maintain strong connections with friends and family. Social isolation can have a negative impact on your health, so it is important to stay connected with others. Join clubs, volunteer, or attend community events to stay socially active. In conclusion, taking care of your health as you age requires a comprehensive approach that includes a conscious attitude to cooking and storing food, regular exercise, adequate sleep, stress management, regular visits to the doctor, and maintaining social connections. By making informed decisions in all of these areas, you can protect yourself from hidden risks and enjoy a healthy and fulfilling life. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters. Last but not least, it is important to stay positive and optimistic. A positive attitude can have a significant impact on your health and well-being. Focus on the good things in your life and practice gratitude. Surround yourself with positive people and avoid negative situations. In conclusion, taking care of your health as you age requires a comprehensive approach that includes a conscious attitude to cooking and storing food, regular exercise, adequate sleep, stress management, regular visits to the doctor, maintaining social connections, and a positive attitude. By making informed decisions in all of these areas, you can protect yourself from hidden risks and enjoy a healthy and fulfilling life. Remember, your health is an investment, and every conscious choice matters.